For the past few years, I couldn't help but to notice how dull my life has felt, and I think a big part of that was due to how I really neglected what it meant to have a real hobby. I can't remember the last time I read a book that wasn't contributing to my self-development, or watched a movie without analyzing the screenplay to become a better writer. When I'm active, it's not because I enjoy it, but because the outcome is a better body. And when I capture the moment, in the back of my mind, I always wonder how I could turn this into good content one day. My hobbies now all consist of something that is somewhat fun to me, but more importantly will build me up for something else down the line. It's been my way of killing two birds with one stone. And although it can be great at times, I think slowly I've lost the joy in doing things because it felt good in the moment. I do things only when I know it'll directly benefit me in the future. It's gotten to the point where I won't even consider trying a new hobby or activity unless I can justify its usefulness to my future self somehow. In the pursuit of being more productive and living a more purposeful life, I've forgotten how to be present. When I take the time to reflect on my life and think about my fondest moments, I feel like a lot of those times were during my childhood. Not because the places that I went to were cooler or because the things I did were more exciting, but because I was able to enjoy them in the moment and be as carefree and present as possible. It wasn't ever really a particular event that I was nostalgic over, but more so a feeling that I was missing. These days, unless it's a big trip or an important event, rarely do I ever feel like I'm actually living in the moment. I stopped creating spaces in my day-to-day where I'm just doing things that feel good, with no other purpose than to feel good doing it. I know that's impossible to enjoy every waking moment, but I neglected what the true purpose of having a hobby was. The things that were meant to break up my days and remind me of what it felt like to be present again, all of a sudden just blended in with everything else and felt like work. Everything I did now was just to build towards a goal in hopes that one day I'll feel happier when I reach it. I think somewhere along the way, I sacrificed a lot of my present moments for a future that was, for the most part, not even certain or in my control. I think it's so funny that as adults, we always grow up chasing this feeling of nostalgia, but we fail to realize that the closest we can ever get to feeling like a kid again is by doing the things that we love, even if we're bad at it, or even if we don't know how to do it properly. There's an innocence that's taken away when we're so worried about how we look or the long-term impact it has on us. We let our egos get in the way of the things that bring us the most joy, and then we end up doing things that kind of bring us joy but are a lot easier to explain and justify. But I think eventually we'll find that it's pretty hard to feel nostalgic over something that we're not truly enjoying. The hard truth is that, as adults, we do have more responsibilities and less time to spend on things that don't give us some sort of monetary benefit. But I do miss the days when there is no expectation at the end of each task, no outcome to be expected, just the feeling that you got while you were doing it, and that's it. It feels nice to read a book just because you like the plot, or watch a stupid show just because it's funny. Only recently have I actually made an effort to rediscover some of the hobbies and interests that I've had, but was too scared to pursue. I've realized how important it is to invest in things that remind you of what it feels like to be present again. The sacrifice in either time or money will always be so worth it in the long run, even if you're only able to do it once a week. These little things matter in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, life is about creating moments that you love, not only every few months or years, but as often as you can.